Yes, it's absolutely amazing. So, for those people who don't know what a maternal assisted cesarean is, it's where a mother is having a cesarean, so an elective cesarean section, and she assists in the birth of that baby. So,
Hello, Shire Nation. Welcome to another Shire Health Chat, and I am very excited to be sitting down with Lauren Brenton, or Loz, from One Mama Midwife. I saw Lauren's Instagram posts over a long period of time, and as a new dad, this is an area that I'm really excited to get into. Before I start, we are recording on the traditional lands of the Dharawal people, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Lauren, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have a Shire Health Chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm also very excited to be here.
Okay, we might dive straight into it. Can you give the people your Shire specs? How did you come to work in this area? Where are you? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm a Shire born and bred. I grew up in the Shire, so have lived here my whole life and don't ever plan on leaving.
Yep.
But I am a midwife, an endorsed midwife. So I did my studies outside of the Shire. And then once I finished, I did start working as a midwife back in the Shire again. I now am doing my own antenatal classes, and I do these from my carrying bar studio. So still back in my favorite place, the Shire.
Very good. And look, getting that passport to get outside the Shire is time consuming, but for medical training and for midwife training and for a lot of reasons, we do have to get it sometime.
Yeah, we do.
Look, tell us about how you started One Mama Midwife, because you've obviously built quite a big brand and you've helped a lot of people along the way. Sort of tell me where that came from.
Yeah, so I myself have 4 kids, and being a midwife going into that setting, I found that there are a lot of people coming in scared and just feeling like they didn't have that information that they really needed to know. So, first of all, I started it in COVID when, again, all antenatal classes and things stopped. And I thought, well, I can just put a free resource out there and people can look at it and go, okay, well, this is, information I can trust and I don't have to surf through Google for my answers. So that's kind of how it started. And I didn't expect the growth that it was going to have and the impact that it now has, which is really, really nice. But yeah, it just started as a free resource to try and help anyone that needed that bit of extra support coming into the hospital, especially during COVID. And then, yeah, it built up from, I guess, word of mouth a little bit, but also through obviously being active on my social media and just giving that free advice. And a lot of people were sort of going, you need to do more with this, you need to do more with this. And I was like, yeah, but like, I'm not really sure what. And then kind of got a lot of requests for classes and further education and went, yeah, actually, I'm going to do that. So then that's where One Mama Midwife antenatal classes were born.
Excellent. And look, for some of our audience, some of the blokes who listen to my channel, they might not have any idea. This might be their first contact. They might not have had kids yet, or they might just be getting to the start of a pregnancy with their partner. And it can be a bit of an unknown, like you're jumping into the unknown. You don't really know what to expect, which is why these, prior to birth, really good antenatal and preparatory classes really give you a head start, because after birth, you are sleep deprived. You are, it's so hard to pick up a podcast or listen to an educational session. So I'd certainly encourage anyone to get along to preparatory classes. One of the things I did see that you were quite keen on was the maternal assisted C-section. And I thought that would be a really good topic to talk about because it sounds really empowering.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing. So for those people who don't know what a maternal assisted cesarean is, it's where a mother is having a cesarean, so an elective cesarean section, and she assists in the birth of that baby. So the obstetrician delivers the baby's head and shoulders, and the mum is fully scrubbed with surgical gown and gloves and assists to reach down and, with the help of the obstetrician, pull that baby up and onto mum's chest. So there are so many benefits of doing that. You've got the empowerment, the connection, feeling involved, but also you've got that immediate skin to skin and the benefits for that for both mum and baby. So definitely something I'm very passionate about, but obviously also not for everyone too.
Yeah, and I think that's just one really good way you can empower people and whatever their choice in the healthcare sector for pregnancy, we try to be a very judgment-free zone in healthcare where possible. It's just one option that they have to really get involved and feel connected.
Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't an easy thing to advocate for myself. Now it's a lot easier. I've helped write the policy at the hospital where I was working, and it is now easier and families can choose it as a much more easy option. But it was, hard to advocate at the time to bring in something completely new and completely foreign. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'm going a little off tangent here. I do apologize, but how did you jumpstart that? Was it how did you start the ball rolling? Was it your own experience? Did you bring in an outside protocol? How did you, I mean, system change is hard in any medical field, but how did you jumpstart that?
Before I fell pregnant with my fourth baby, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I was like, next baby, I want to do this. I want to feel involved, and I want to get that instant connection that I see so many people working as a midwife get in the vaginal birth scenarios. And I was like, I just want to experience that myself. So I had Andrew Zushman as my obstetrician, and he was very supportive. Eventually, at the start, I was like, I want to do this. And I think he thought I was joking and just sort of pulling his leg a little bit. And then once I, opened up and was like, no, actually, this is something that's really important to me, and explained why it was important, then he was 100% on board and was like, yep, you get the hospital on board and we'll do it. Let's run with it. So kind of was a combination of showing him the videos that I'd seen from an obstetrician in Melbourne, and getting policies. So we got some policies from Queensland and Melbourne to base our policy in our hospital off. So I then, wrote our policy with the educator of the hospital to make sure it was obviously all legitimate and proper. And we got that policy passed in the hospital.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you are coming up on 4 years birthday for your business, which is quite good. A lot of small businesses don't make that 4-year mark, and you're thriving at this point.
Thank you.
What advice would you give if you had to go back 4 years? If you had to give advice to yourself starting the business or to the laws of that time, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would give myself the advice to trust yourself and to just go for it. I feel like I held back quite a lot in those early days. And I think if I jumped in a little bit more at the start, it might have made it a little bit easier now. But I think trusting that I knew what I was doing and that I could do something that is helpful to the community. Trusting myself would be the biggest thing.
I think that's great advice. I think that's probably applicable to most of life rather than even just business.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to summarize your sort of philosophy to business or parenting in one sentence, this is a lot to ask, but what would that sentence be?
So I think that it would be to trust your instincts with everything, whether that be during the pregnancy and you don't feel like something's right, or, being presented with an option that you don't think suits you or your family, or then, parenting, not trying to sort of fit children all into the same category or all into the same box. So, as you would know, all kids and all babies are completely different. And I think trusting that instinct and sort of following their lead can really take away a lot of stress in that parenting and business lives.
I like that. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So, look, I'm a dad. Obviously, we sometimes get a bit hesitant around pregnancy and understanding what's going on, but we obviously most of the time do want to be involved and do want to be as much help as possible. I guess, do your classes, do you encourage people to bring their partners along? Is it preferred to or not? I often tell dads, get empowered, get involved. I give them a bunch of links, but should dads come to your classes? What's the best idea?
100%. Partners should definitely come to the classes. I do focus a lot on the partners because, again, having worked in that birthing suite and having partners move out of the way when we walk through, and me being like, no, you guys are more important than I am. You need to be in here. So, I definitely focus on the partners a lot in each stage, but then also, your practical things for when the baby's born. How can you guys practically help your partner in that postpartum period? So definitely 100% recommend bringing partners and them being involved. And I kind of, make jokes being like, nappies and baths are dad jobs, and just getting us girls out of the nappy changes.
We're very happy to help with nappies, and for the dads who are looking for something to do, if you want to look at the amount of nappy bins, there's so many different types of nappy bins you can buy online. It's just this huge industry that we didn't know about previously.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other advice you would give for people out there in general? I know obviously people can find you at One Mama Midwife, and we highly encourage that. Is there any advice you want to give, or anything you wanted to talk about just to the people of the Shire?
I think it would be to really rely on friends and family more than you do. I feel like, especially as Shire people, we tend to just kind of try and do everything ourselves and try and, make it look like we have this all under control and all down pat. But I think if we let people in and let our friends and family, take the baby for a walk for an hour so that you could rest, or say, hey, actually, I can't cook dinner because I'm so tired. Do you think you might be able to drop me over a meal? Most people would be so over the moon to be able to help, but just don't know how. So I think that, being able to trust people a little bit more and really do take in that support, especially when you're in those first few weeks, as you would know, a new parent. Really having that extra support makes a big difference.
And I guess you sort of start to realize that a baby is a group project involving not just you and your partner, but also the wider community and the wider family unit. And they say it does take a tribe, but until you get in there, I didn't really understand what that meant. So that has been a brilliant chat. It's been really nice that you could carve out some time to have a chat to us. I know you're very busy with the 4th birthday celebrations coming up.
Thanks.
Thank you for everything you're doing in the Shire, and we look forward to catching up with you depending on how things go. Thank you, Loz. That was a beautiful Shire Health Chat.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.